Hello and welcome to today's session on financial modeling using AI. So, what we are doing in these webinars on Thursdays is that we try to bring in AI use cases so that we see our students use and we use it ourselves while teaching and working with our clients at FP&A Professional Institute. So that is what the objective of these webinars are, to bring real life use cases so that you can also implement the same, or you could take some ideas and learn and then use it in your finance workflow. Okay, so that is the idea. Today's topic is financial modeling for if, or we'll be using AI. We'll be showing you AI use cases for financial modeling. So before we get started, a quick roadmap of what we are going to cover today. So we are going to understand first of all what is financial modeling for FP&A, and then we will be sharing some use cases using AI tools like Claude and Manus, using similar use cases or demonstrating similar use cases, how you can leverage AI tools to be able to do your work much faster, build your models, I would say, in a much effective and a productive manner. And that is what we are going to cover today. Okay, and then at the end we'll have some time for Q&A. Before we get started, a quick introduction of FPI and the trainers today. So Dhawal is joining me as the co-trainer. So Dhawal, if you can give your quick introduction.
Good evening, everyone. So, my name is Dhawal Parvatikar. I'm the co-founder of FP&A Professionals Institute, chartered accountant with close to 20 years of experience. I've worked as CFO in India and across the Middle East, across various multinational brands. I've been an active trainer and an instructor over the last 6 years or so. I've trained more than 5,000 professionals on various topics like FP&A, finance, business partnering, data storytelling, one-to-one CFO career coaching, and much more.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining, Dhawal, and always glad to do these webinars together. So quickly about me as well. So I've been working in finance and FP&A for over a decade now. Started in audit back in 2010 and then moved into FP&A in 2013. I worked in FP&A for 10 years across different roles in analyst, senior analyst, manager. My most recent role was the head of APAC for one of the edtech companies. So that has been my FP&A corporate journey. And then in 2023, me and Dhawal came together. Dhawal left his Dhawal left his CFO role, and I left my FP&A lead role, and we started FP&A Professional Institute. And over the last I would say 3.5 years now, we have trained more than 6,000 students across all of these certifications courses that you see on the screen. The most popular ones are the CGFPA, the Certified Global FP&A Professional certification, and AIFP&A, which is what we are going to talk about today at the end. So that is a little bit about me, Dhawal, and FP&A Professional Institute. AI for Finance and FP&A, the next cohort, which we do every quarter. So we do a live cohort every quarter. The next one is starting tomorrow. So if you are interested, do check out the links which we are going to share in the webinar today. Okay, so with that, we'll get started and understand what is financial model first and what is financial modeling for FP&A. So financial model is any Excel file or any, I would say, any report which has three important components. It needs to have inputs. Inputs in financial modeling terminology is called assumptions. So if it has assumptions, it has the first important element of being a financial model. The second one is it needs to have some sort of calculation, or it needs to have some sort of working that is taking the assumptions and then doing some calculations inside the file. Okay, so that is the second component, which is typically called as the main engine of the model or the calculations. So if you have assumptions, if you have the calculations and the engine, you still need one last element, which is the output. So you need to have something which is going to be presented as a final outcome. And it could be a summary tab, it could be a report, it could be a slide. Okay, so if you have these three elements, then you can call any report or a file a basic financial model. I would not say a very sophisticated financial model, but if you have these three elements, you can call it a financial model. I'll repeat those three elements: assumptions, calculations, and output. Okay, and then for more sophisticated financial models, you could add scenarios. You could add sensitivity analysis. You could do more things to make it slightly more useful and more effective for FP&A roles. So that is what the financial model is. Now, what are the topics that we usually talk about when we are talking about financial modeling for FP&A? So these are the topics that you see on the left hand side and on the right hand side. So left hand side are topics which are basics of financial modeling. Everybody in finance or anybody in finance should be able to do that. So three statement financial model, best practices of financial modeling, you should be able to do that irrespective of any finance role you are working with, whether it is FP&A or investment banking or equity research or accounting, any FP&A, any finance roles, you should be able to understand the basics of financial modeling and the three statement financial model. In the center you have the overlap between the financial modeling best practices and FP&A use cases. So these are the topics that we are going to focus on, which is on the center of the two circles, which is how to use how do you use financial modeling best practices to create revenue models, to be able to build your budgets, to be able to build cash flow forecast, to do scenario planning, sensitivity analysis, how to do long range projections using capital budgeting techniques. So these are some of the use cases we usually cover in the FP&A curriculum at our institute. Okay, and most of our use cases will be around these. Um, okay, all right. Let me move on. So we covered in the first 5 minutes what is financial model and what is financial modeling for FP&A. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to straight away dive into an Excel file. So let me quickly open an Excel file. Okay, so I'm opening a new Excel file and I am going to paste a prompt there from my prompt notepad. And let's say we want to create a financial model. Okay, so let me paste this detailed prompt here, which I have. Okay, and I could use any of the tools. I could use Copilot, I could use ChatGPT, I could use Claude, but for this demonstration sake, I'll be using Claude, and I will go inside my Claude ribbon and I will paste that prompt. Okay, before I do that, I want to quickly check how many of you are using Claude, ChatGPT, or Copilot with Excel. Just type it in the chat box, whichever tool you are using, so that we know which tool uh, people are using here. Okay, so you can type anyone, or you could say you're still evaluating or you're not yet using anything. That is also fine. Okay, so a lot of people are using Claude and Copilot, so you should be able to follow along with me. So what I will do is I will give you this prompt in the chat box. If you just want to follow along with me, you can do that. Okay, even ChatGPT you should be able to do this. So even if you're using inside ChatGPT, you could do that. So I'm just pasting the prompt here and let's see if we are able to do it. Okay, so I will press enter and I will let this prompt run. It will take about 3 to 5 minutes to run. So what we'll do in the meanwhile is we'll get back to the slide and I'll quickly show you what is happening while the prompt is running. So now a lot of people ask me that how do you create prompts? Okay, so uh, there are different frameworks you can use to create prompts. One of the best ones that I can share with you is this one, which is being able to have as many elements of these six components that I'm going to share. So first one is the context. So you can tell the AI tool what is the background or what is your objective. So that is what the context typically is about. Okay, so what is the situation or what is the background? What is the role? So if you assign AI a role, it should be able to get you better results. So for example, you can say act as a FP&A analyst or act as a SaaS FP&A analyst. Okay, so you could do that. Third is the task. This is the most important one. Right now, in the prompt that you saw, I have only given the task. I did not assign a context. I did not give it a role. However, if you add more elements, the better your quality of the prompt will be. Okay, then you need to specify what is the data that it needs to use. I have specified that in my prompt. Then you talk about constraints. So if there are any things to watch out for, or if it needs to watch out for any constraints, meaning for example, if you want the financial model to be only for 12 months or 24 months, or you want it to be for the next 6 quarters. So you need to mention that. You could mention um, details like if you have noticed any errors that the tool has made in the past, you could list out those errors and and tell the tool to make sure that you keep an eye on these points and make sure you don't make these mistakes. You could also ask it to add checks and balances so that you are able to check the mathematical accuracy, or you're able to check the you are able to check build some checks while you're building the financial models. Okay, so those are constraints. And the final is the output. Do you need an Excel file? Do you need a PowerPoint? Do you need a paragraph? Do you need a bullet point? Whatever the format is, you should be able to specify that. If I had to give a detailed prompt, I would have used this format, and you can see the prompt which is there in the top. In the context, I'm saying I am an FP&A analyst of a consumer software app. So that is the context, or I'm giving the background. Now I'm also assigning a role. I'm saying act as a SaaS FP&A analyst. So that is the role assignment. Then I'm asking all the steps it needs to follow. So build a 12-month forecast. I need active users, new paid subscribers, MRR. Make sure that the assumptions are in a separate block from the calculations. That is what one of the best practices in financial modeling is. Okay, then what is the data that you need to use? Which are the assumptions that you need to use? I'm giving that, and I'm giving certain constraints, and I am asking the output format in the Excel sheet. Okay, so this is what the prompt is supposed to do. If you notice the prompt that I gave, it has given me certain results. So if you see the prompt that I gave, it has given me the assumptions, and it has given me the 12 month forecast that I asked for. Okay, so if I want to make some changes in the assumptions now, if I want to make this 10% to 15%, I can do that, and the forecast or the model will automatically change. Okay, so that is what I wanted to show. So based on the prompt, it was able to build a 12-month forecast with the assumptions that I gave, and I can change these assumptions, and I can make changes to the model based on that. I will definitely make sure that I check these formulas once before I use this model. You cannot blindly trust the output. You need to do some sort of your checks. You need to make sure that you have checked the model once. So that is what you need to do as a user. Okay, I will take a pause here, and now let's try and give a detailed prompt. So the first one I gave was not a very detailed prompt, and let's see what is the difference in the output. So I will give it now a very detailed prompt. I'll open up a new Excel file, and this time I will be giving it a detailed prompt compared to the prompt that I gave earlier, and let's see if it is able to give us a different or a better output. So if you notice that right now I'm using that 6-part framework. Earlier I gave a very straightforward prompt. So we will come back to this and see how this is going to be different from the prompt that we gave, or the output that we got with the basic prompt. So while it is doing that, I'll quickly walk you through the Claude Excel ribbon here. So there are some functions that you need to be aware of. So right now it is asking me, it is giving me the steps, and it is asking me, should I go ahead? So it is asking me that I'll first build the assumptions block, then I will model the 12-month revenue. I'll build the MRR chart. I'll then get you the insights. Okay, so I'm saying yes, go ahead, or I'll say yes. So here you see that there is an option called accept all edits. So I can turn it off, I can turn it on. So right now it is turned on, meaning it will take most of the decisions on its own, and it'll get me to the end output faster. But if I want more control on each and every step, for example, I wanted to stop after step one and then ask me again for instructions or directions, then I can keep this on, and I can say ask before every edit, and it will give me more control. So if you are doing it this for work, and if you have the time, you should. I would recommend you to put this option on, because then it will help you to have more control over the model versus on accept all edits. However, if you are looking for something quick and you don't have the time, and you're looking for something rough and you need it very quickly, then you can say accept all edits. Okay. Now the second filter here is apart from this, the second important thing that you need to watch out for is the model drop down. Okay, here you have the options from Sonnet to Opus to Fable. So Fable is the most recent one, and earlier I was using Sonnet and Opus, and those were giving equally good results. So I haven't seen a lot of difference in the output using Opus versus Fable. However, Claude has extended the Fable 5 usage. So uh, right now, I am able to use Fable 5 without any additional costs, and which seems like a limited time thing. They may limit that, and they may charge additional for the Fable 5. That is what it looks like. Okay, but right now for the first few weeks, it has given me this model for free. So you could have used I could have used Opus 5 as well. Okay, so if you notice now, it has started building the model, and if you see, the model is much more detailed compared to what it was earlier, right? Right now it has the assumption section. It has the 12-month detailed monthly forecast that we had asked for. It has given me the MRR chart also. It has given me some sort of insights as well in terms of bullet points of what are the key takeaways. So if you compare this output versus the output that I had in the earlier file, let me just go back. This was just a plain model with the assumptions and the forecast. But here, if you notice, it has given me a lot more. It has given me the chart for the MRR. It has given me the output exactly as I asked for. So that is where your prompt quality will matter. So if you include more elements from the framework, the better your output will be. That is what I wanted to share. Okay, I'll take a pause here and I'll see if there are any comments, any questions before I move forward. Okay, I'll just quickly take a look at the chat box. We need subscription for Claude. That's right. So for you to be able to use any of these inside Excel, you will need a paid subscription, minimum one, which is a $20 one, whether it is Claude, ChatGPT, or Copilot. Okay, so Sony is saying I got the same result trained in Copilot. Okay, wonderful. How to use Claude in Excel? Just a brief. Okay, so that is what we did, right? So if you want to install Claude inside Excel, it's fairly straightforward. You just need to go to this add-in option and then just search for Claude. Make sure that you get the one which has the orange logo, the official app from Anthropic. So you can get this one, and once you do that, you should be able to follow a few steps. If you are logged into your paid account, you should be able to fetch your key from there, and then you should be able to log into the Claude ribbon inside Excel. So once you click Add, it'll ask you to perform a few steps, and also you have to make sure that you are logged into your paid account. If you're logged into the paid account, it'll automatically fetch the key that is required for the ribbon to get activated, and then you will be able to do that. So that is how you add you can do that for ChatGPT as well. Okay, so that was the first use case. What I will do is I will go to the next use case in that case. Let me go and open up my. So what I'll do right now is I will build a detailed cash flow forecast using one of the files that we use in our CDFPA program. So what we have here in the screen, I'll quickly give you a background before I start using AI. So I have last 4 weeks of actual numbers in terms of the cash receipts, your revenue receipts, and your one-time receipts. Also, I have the data for disbursements, including your regular monthly disbursements like rent, payroll, etc., and your interest payouts, etc. So, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build a cash flow forecast looking at the historical. So, I'm trying to predict what will be the forecast for my next 10 weeks or next 13 weeks. So, what I'll do is I will open a quick document, which is the case study from the CGFPA program. And these are basically the instructions I want to give AI so that it is able to update the forecast, which I used to do manually in the class. Okay, so this is the case study document that I will quickly show you before I put in the prompt. So these are all the things that I want to give effect in the cash flow forecast. Okay, so what are the one-time receipts that are going to happen in the next few weeks that I'm aware of? what are the regular payments that are going to happen. So salary is paid on the first of every month, office rent is paid on the 10th of every or 15th of every or last day of every month, electricity bill is paid on a certain date. Okay, so all of these are the things that I know. Okay, now I will convert. So there is going to be a debt repayment every month or a EMI payment on loan that is going to happen every month. So these are the things that I know. What I'll be doing is I have two options. I can either attach that document in the Claude. So let me do that. I will try to attach that. Okay, so I'm going to attach that document. I could have alternatively given I could have alternatively built a detailed prompt as well. I'll show you that option as well. But for now, I'm giving it an attachment so that you can see how you can attach files as well inside. Now, based on the PDF, could you update, or I would say update. Okay, so here I'm not using the six-part framework because a lot of the context and the instructions and constraints are there in this PDF. Okay, so if it was not there, I would have given it a detailed prompt, and I'll show you that option as well. So right now I've attached that PDF and I've asked it to update the cash flow forecast based on that. Okay, so let's see if it is able to do that. In the meantime, let me go back and show you my notepad where I have the detailed prompt as well. If I did not have the PDF, I would have written a detailed prompt, something like this. Okay, so I'll just bring that prompt. I'll not be using it, but I'll quickly show you what that prompt is looking like. Okay, so review the workbook, complete the 13-week cash flow forecast for all the projected weeks from column H to column whatever the columns are. Preserve the existing workbook structure, formatting, etc. Okay, build the forecast using these rules. So these are the rules that I have in the PDF. So enterprise collection is in that sheet. Then you have different criteria, right? Rent is paid, salary is paid, different client deposits are taken. Okay, so all the criteria I've mentioned in the writing, and it's exactly the same text that is there or similar text that is there in the PDF. Okay, so let me just close this because I've already attached the PDF. Okay, so if you notice, it has started building the forecast. Okay, so let's see what it is doing. Let me just close this. Saying I'll read the PDF and the current sheet structure first, and now let me read the supporting sheets. So let's see what it is doing. Okay, it is saying that it is evaluating the date and the projection assumptions. So let's wait for that. A couple of new things that you see in the Claude is now it can also interact with the other Excel, open Excel file. So if you see here on the top left hand side, here you can see the other size files that are open. So these are the two, three other files that I have open right now. And earlier it was not able to detect that, but now it is able to detect other Excel open files, which is outside your file. So if I want to interact with say this file, which is sales data, I can also do that now, which was earlier not possible. So this is something new that they have added, which is interaction with other files which are open as well. Okay, so it is doing the interest calculation on the loan and all. So uh, I was expecting it to be slightly faster, but let's give it a minute or so, and then we can move on to the next one. Okay, so if you notice, it is reading these files which are the invoices and so which is what it is doing right now. So it is reading the supporting sheets. So this is what it is doing in the background. It read everything that was there in the invoices sheet. Then it went into the raw materials data. It read everything that was there in the raw materials data. So that is the reason why it is taking time. So let me just quickly close this. So let us give it 30 more seconds, and if not, we'll come back to it after the next use case. So I'll quickly take a look at the chat box in the meanwhile. So we'll answer some questions while this is working. Okay, so it is now. Let me read the so it is given an output. It says I've read the PDF and also here is my plan. So I'll say yes, go ahead. So it is going to build the assumptions block, receipt, disbursement. So that is what I will want as well. So this looks to be a good step-by-step process. So I'll say yes, go ahead. Okay, so in the interest of time, I'm not reading the details. It looks overall okay. So I've said it to go ahead, but let's see what it is able to do. So in the meanwhile, I'll take a couple of questions. Can we have complete prompt to generate? Can we have complete prompt to generate this model? Yeah, sure. So I can share that. So let me share that in the chat box as well. So let me go back to the earlier file. Okay, so this is the detailed prompt for the financial model, which follows the six-step framework. Do companies allow employees to use AI for modeling? So you need to take your permissions from your IT. So so that is your responsibility. So you should be following all the guidelines that are there inside your organization. You should not be using your organization data on your private AI tool. So you should be using enterprise versions only, unless you have permissions. That could be an exception. Okay, let me go back and see if where we are on the cash flow forecast. So now it has started building the steps. Okay, so it is now building the assumptions block, building the data. So all the 7 steps, it will start performing slowly one by one. Okay, so what we can do is let's give it 30 more seconds and see if it is be able to do this quickly. Otherwise, we'll come back to it at the end. So it might take maybe 5 to 7. Okay, so if you notice now, it has updated the receipt portion or the revenue side or the cash inflow side. Okay, so you have the cash inflow side. Now it is updating the one-time receipts. So now the entire revenue section of the cash inflow side is updated. Now it will work on the expenses side or the cash outflows. Okay, so it has now updated the cash outflows as well. Okay, if you notice at the bottom, it is giving you the key assumptions. So if you want to make some changes, say for example, if I want to change this salary, which is $250,000 every month, I want to make that 300,000. I could do that, and the numbers will change prospectively, or it will change from the next week onwards. Okay, so you can make the changes here as well, and the forecast will update. Okay, so it is now doing the calculations on the debt and the interest, which I think already it has done. So you have the forecast ready, right? So if you notice here, you have your ending cash balances for all the weeks, and this is very similar to what I would have done manually. So when we teach this in CDFPA, we show that December month is negative, and then we talk about it in detail. So it's very close to what I would have done. Maybe I would spend 10 minutes reviewing this and make some changes and then use this as an output. Okay, so that was the second use case. The first one we saw was a financial model. The second one was a 13-week cash flow forecast. I'll take a pause here and we'll go to Dhawal. He has some interesting use cases as well, using a different AI tool. So we will look at that next.
Thank you, Asif. Let me just pull that up. Okay, for the next use case, I am using a tool called Manus AI. So AI is a Chinese tool, although later on bought by Meta. The backend of Manus AI is powered by Claude as well as a tool called Gwen. Okay, so the interface of Manus AI looks pretty much like ChatGPT, okay, and or your Claude, right? And it can do very much the same items. At one point in time, Manus was slightly ahead in terms of building websites and presentations were slightly coming out better in Manus AI, but now I think Claude has kind of overtook Manus AI, and everything now can be done through Claude as well. So let me just quickly bring up this use case. Okay, so I mean, for the sake of time, I'm just showing you what it was able to create and then walk you through the steps around it. Okay, so again, Manus AI for this purpose, I mean, is not it's not a free tool, so there are subscriptions starting from $19 to $47. My usage is a little bit heavy, so I have the 47 one, but you can also do the same thing with the $19 subscription as well. So here is my prompt that I gave it. Okay, can you build a three-statement financial model for 3 years for a SaaS company? SaaS is software as a service or any subscription-based company. Scale it up from 500 to 1,000 to 5,000 subscribers in 3 years at USD 200 per annum subscription. Do your own research and capture the cost in the financials as per your understanding of the UAE market. The company will be based in the UAE and customers will be based across the globe. One advantage of using a AI tool, whether it is Claude or Manus AI or any other tool like that, is not just the fact that they can create Excel models for you or they can create Excel formula for you. The advantage also is that they can do the research along with the creation of the model, and then they can bring in, like in this case, I'm saying that the company is based in the UAE. So the cost assumptions that it will have for the employees, for the rent and any other expenses, it will already do the research for the UAE market and then give me some average numbers which I can tweak. So that's the another added advantage, and it's not just for you to kind of remember the formula. You can give it as much context as possible. So in this example that you see, I've not specifically mentioned where in UAE. You can also mention more specifics like the office will be 2,000 square feet office based in Business Bay. We'll be having these many number of junior employees, senior employees. You can give as many details as you want in the prompt for it to be more accurate. But this was more like a test, so that's why I've kept a simple prompt. Then Manus, started interacting, saying that understood. I will build a comprehensive three-statement financial model based for a UAE-based SaaS company. Okay, so it started building it. And one of the advantages, unlike ChatGPT for Manus, is that you can also give additional instructions in between the task as well. So that was one of the best things. Now I think Claude has also kind of caught up on this. Okay, so it then started interacting with me. It is trying to explain to me that it is taking some benchmarks on certain personal costs, marketing costs, license and compliances. Okay, and it gave me the first version of it. Okay, now the first version was not that great. Okay, so then I gave some additional prompts to it, saying that, okay, amend this model using the financial modeling best practices, capture the assumptions on the spreadsheet so that I can edit it whenever required. So it did not give me a separate assumption sheet, which I wanted it to do. So in the subsequent prompt, I said, capture the assumption sheet. Also give me a switch for selecting the base case, best case, and worst case scenarios. I want to make sure that I select the best case, worst case, and the base case scenarios as well. Then said, okay, understood. I'll enhance the financial model with professional best practices, or also give you a switch for base case, best case. It started working on that additional thing. And then it gave me almost the final version of it. So these are all the calculations that it is doing on its own. Okay. Then the scenario option that it gave, it was not like a drop down button. So then I said, okay, can you make the scenario selector like a cell drop down button so that I can select the scenario and the calculations in the financial statements or the financial model get amended accordingly, according to the scenario that I'm selecting. And then it said, okay, I'll enhance the scenario selector with a drop down list, the data validation, okay, for you to easily select. So it started adding all these features. Okay. And then it also made some mistakes. The balance sheet was not telling. I pointed this error out, saying that the balance sheet is not matching, your assets and liabilities is not matching. Can you just double check this? And said, you're absolutely right. I apologize for the oversight. So even though even though the AI tools are capable enough to build you the models, it is your judgment and it is your, I would say, accurate review that is required for you to kind of finally use this financial model somewhere, especially in terms of statutory reporting. You have to be extremely careful to make sure that you double check it. Okay. And then finally, after a lot of conversations, I got the final financial model. It looks something like this. I can just quickly share it with you here. So it has the scenario selector sheet. It has assumptions captured, base case, best case, worst case scenarios. It's captured the assumptions, the cost of goods sold assumptions, the year one personnel cost, year two personnel cost, marketing cost, license and compliance costs, professional services, other operating expenses, capex involvement. It has captured everything on its own. Now, the prompt was pretty basic in that sense. I mean, the more detailed the prompt, the more specifics that you are able to give, the better the model outcome will be. But in the limited items that I asked it to do, it did a great job. Then it gave me an income statement where it has revenue, cost of goods sold, different set of costs, EBITDA, right, until the net income. Then the cash flow statement is here, okay, and then the balance sheet as well. Yeah, with current liabilities, current assets. So the balance sheet is also now matching. In the scenario selector also, I can show you, for example, in the assumptions in the income statement, right now the scenario selected is best case scenario. In the best case scenario, you can see that the revenue for year one is 150K, 325K, and 1.7 million. Okay. If I change the scenario selector to, let's say, base case, you will notice that the revenue has changed. It has now 100, 200, and 1 million. So it has changed accordingly. The costs have changed. The profits has changed. The cash flow statement, the balance sheet, everything has changed accordingly, right? So let me change it to best case again. And you will notice that in the base case, the first year revenue was 100K. Here you can see the 150K, 325, and 1.7 million. So pretty decent job in terms of the assumptions. All the formulas are also linked. You can see that the formulas are linked as well. So tomorrow, if you want to edit any of these items, or if you want to just download this Excel sheet and change any of these assumptions, it's already linked to the formula and the model gets updated automatically. Now this is pretty much straightforward. I would say it did a great job in terms of the limited instructions that I gave it. But if you are able to give a detailed, accurate prompt, like how Asif mentioned, the detailed context, the market assumptions, or any other details that you are able to give, the more accurate your model will be created. So this is one example that I wanted to show with the tool called Manus AI. Very similar to Claude. It also does a good job in terms of the formatting and the formula linking and everything. Okay. So let me just quickly stop sharing my screen. So that's the quick use case that I had to share. Again, I have tried Manus AI also for much more complex models and tasks than this. But I just wanted to kind of give you an overview that what is possible with AI tools. So when you are thinking about learning AI, don't just think about what tool to learn, right? So right, as of now, sometimes Manus will be ahead, sometimes Claude will be ahead, sometimes ChatGPT will be ahead, sometimes Copilot will be ahead, right? So all these models are competing with each other. So what you need to do right now is start honing your skill sets to talk to these tools. Tomorrow, probably, I mean, it's already happening, right? So you will never be able to, or rather, you will never be building a financial model or a new Excel sheet from scratch. So that's a given now. So AI tools are here, and they will be, I mean, they are here to stay. So make sure that you start learning the skill set to interact with these tools rather than just being obsessed about one particular, X or Y tool. So we shared some, use cases on Claude. We shared some use cases on ChatGPT and then Manus AI. Again, these are just a quick trailer of just for financial modeling. Per se, we teach a lot of things in our AI courses as well. Now that you have some understanding of how AI can help you with your Excel financial modeling, I hope you understand how amazing it would be to understand all those AI skill sets and grab those high paying opportunities. We've already started seeing job posts where they are mentioning that AI skills are mandatory or Claude is mandatory or you're comfortable with building automations through AI tools. So you will see that the job postings for FP&A analysts and senior analysts have already started asking for AI skill sets. So what you can do as a next step is that we have our AI training program, which is AI for Finance and FP&A program, where we are covering multiple tools like Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, Manus, Copilot, and other couple of automations as well. 25 plus specific use cases related to FP&A, some related to budgeting, forecasting, management reporting, CFO dashboards, automations, Claude skill, all of those things are covered in the course. It's a 10-hour program, so it will be for 5 weeks starting from 7th of August every Friday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST. Again, highly practical. We don't cover theory, so highly practical. You will always see us busy with some or the other use cases or explaining to you some or the other use cases. It's going to be a very hands-on program where we are covering all these 5 essential tools for you as well. So again, these are live lessons for your convenience. You will follow along with us, the instructions, and you'll be able to practice as well. You don't need to spend like hours and hours together. All we expect is a commitment of about 2 to 3 hours a week, 2 hours inside the class from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST on every Friday, and about 30 to 60 minutes of your own practice with some examples that we will share with you. Again, 100% practical case studies, basically through experiences that Asif and I have been using and interacting with CFOs and FP&A heads about how they have been using AI tools in their workflow. You'll get a certificate from FP&A Professionals Institute. We also have monthly Q&A sessions that you can get access to where multiple guests are coming in, faculties are coming in where you can clarify any of your doubts directly. You'll also have access to global community of FPI and FPI community. I mean, there are students from more than 100 countries now as part of FPI community. So you will also be part of that community as well, where you'll share with you continuous updates as well. So the next cohort for the AI for Finance and FP&A program is starting on the 7th of August, which is tomorrow. That will be every Friday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST. And the fees for this is USD 247. Although we are out of time and we have a few seats left, you can still use the coupon code early10 to avail a 10% off if you are enrolling today. Okay. And so next cohort is starting tomorrow at 8 p.m. IST. So the choice is yours. I mean, you can keep experimenting and trying things on your own. But if you're looking for a structured program where within 1 month you will be significantly ahead of many other finance professionals in terms of AI, then AIFPA program or AIFPA certification is your go-to place as well. So remember, the next cohort is starting tomorrow, 7th of August, 2026, Friday, 8 p.m. IST. Okay, so happy to take any questions that you might have about AI in general, about what we covered today, or about the AIFPA program. Asif has shared the enrollment link or the course link in the chat box. You can just head over to it and then complete your enrollment on the program. Okay, so that's what we had to present today in the limited time that we had. So we were able to share some cases, use cases, but this is more like a trailer. We cover far more in-depth cases in the AIFPA program. So if you're somebody who's serious and who's looking to kind of get ahead in terms of your AI and FP&A skills together, then AIFPA is your program. All the best, everyone. Keep learning, keep growing.
Thanks,
Bye
Abhi.
bye.
Thank you. Thanks for joining. Thank you. Bye bye.